Okay, so I'm going to be reading from Childress's book on foundations again. This is a few pages on personality and attachment, which I think is pretty cool. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit. Let's try this. Okay, well, anyways. Personality and attachment. Attachment origins of personality traits. The attachment system contains our fundamental expectations for self and others in relationship. The characteristics of narcissistic and borderline personality styles are expressions of these underlying relationship expectations that are contained in the internal working models of the attachment system. The internal working models of attachment expectations develop across childhood through multiple relationships, but primarily through the child's early relationship experiences with the parents. These internal working models for attachment provide the template for the child's expectations of self and other in relationship. The internalized patterns of relationship expectations formed during childhood and embedded in the attachment system then guide both the future formation of emotionally close relationships as well as the approaches used for repairing breaches in the attachment bond when they occur. The internal working models embedded in the attachment system mediate the formation as well as the loss of closely bonded attachment relationships throughout the lifespan. According to John Bowlby, who first described the functioning of the attachment system, this is quoting Bowlby from 1973, no variables, it is held, have more far-reaching effects on personality development than have a child's experiences with his family. For starting, during the first months of his relations with his mother figure and extending through the years of childhood and adolescence in his relations with both parents, he builds up working models of how attachment figures are likely to behave towards him in any of a variety of situations, and on these models are based all his expectations and therefore all his plans for the rest of his life. Bowlby, 1973, page 369. Let me see if I can find what that happens to be. That's Attachment and Loss, Volume 2 of Bowlby's trilogy on attachment, separation, anxiety, and anger. During adolescence and young adulthood, the internalized working models of attachment coalesce into stable personality traits that express the relationship expectation patterns within the person's attachment system regarding the formation and loss of closely bonded emotional relationships. When the internal working models of attachment are distorted and pathological, then the subsequent formation of personality characteristics regarding the expectations and responses of self and other in relationship will be equally distorted. The origins of the highly distorted relationship patterns expressed as narcissistic and borderline personality traits arise from childhood attachment trauma that form severely problematic internal working models of attachment organization regarding expectations of both self and other in relationship. At the level of the attachment system, narcissistic and borderline personality structures share the same basic internal working models of attachment, and so have similar core organizing structures. The difference between the overt manifestation of narcissistic and borderline personalities is in the overlay of defensive processes, not in their underlying core structure. In his analysis of narcissistic and borderline personality structures, Kernberg, 1975, described how narcissistic personalities present an underlying borderline personality organization, leading him to classify the narcissistic personality structure as a subgroup of borderline patients. Within the internal working models of the attachment system, narcissistic and borderline personality organizations share the same expectations for self in relationship as being fundamentally inadequate and unworthy of being loved. Because I am fundamentally inadequate as a person, I am inherently unlovable. Both the narcissistic and borderline personalities expect to be rejected/abandoned by the other person in the relationship because of the fundamental inadequacy of the narcissistic borderline personality. That is, quote, I will be rejected and abandoned by the other person, by the attachment figure, because I am fundamentally inadequate and unlovable. The difference in the external presentation of the narcissistic and borderline personality is simply the result of the defensive organization surrounding these identical core beliefs, not in the core beliefs themselves.